Okay, so let's get into the market today. I don't want to do a market breakdown. I just want to give you guys three stocks that you should be paying attention to. Okay, and let's get right into it. First stock you want to look at is ServiceNow. It is coming into a breakout area, which I think if we do break out here, the next level up should be about 135, 136. Um, you do have some positive things going for it. We did break out of this range slash pennant wedge, whatever you want to call it. We did break out. We broke above the 160 moving average. We held that as support. We actually moved higher, hit resistance, pull back into the 20 moving average, and we're curling back up, about to break out and make a new high. We're putting in higher lows from the lows down here. It's been straight, it's been trending higher. So if we do break out of there, then the 135, 136 area is a level to watch. Things that I would watch out for is the 160 moving average is still pretty much trading, well, pointing down, hasn't flattened out yet. So if we do break out, at some point you're gonna have to wait for, if you miss the breakout. And I do think if it does break out, this might not be a breakout where you run to maybe 150, 160, because you're gonna need the 160s to start curling. And what's gonna happen is we might get a breakout and maybe like a sideways movement for a while until the 160 catches up for another leg higher. But it does look like it's going to break out from now, well, from where it is right now. And I do believe we can get maybe a 5, 6, possibly even a, if we break out with a lot of strength, maybe even a 10% move. I believe we can hit 140, 145. Um, so you could be looking at like a 10% move from here. But I'll be very careful. If you are going to get in here, your stop needs to be below here, maybe like around 127, because once this candle starts trending lower, then that would invalidate the setup, and that means that we're probably going to come back down here to test the 120 moving average. Well, not the 120, sorry, the 20 moving average. We're just sitting somewhere about 120. So you don't want to sit in all that drawdown to wait to see if we find support down here for another leg higher. It would be a quick out if you're wrong. Okay, but like I said, things to pay attention to: the 160 moving average. Also, volume is not the strongest right now, so you want to see volume come in, and you want to see the move and this candle get some kind of expansion candle, maybe today or going into next week. All right, so let's move on. The next one you want to look at is going to be SpaceX. You don't have a lot of price history to compare with SpaceX. However, we are sitting in this, we did break out of this resistance area. We held it, traded sideways, hit some more resistance. This was the IPO date. Hit that resistance, pull back into this support. So you have, again, you have the 20 moving average. Holden has support right in the same area as where we have the actual support. Okay, so if we close green today and we start to continue, the next leg up to watch is going to be the 149 area, and if we can break out of there, it's back up to maybe the 170s. I don't think we're going back to all-time highs anytime soon, but I do think we could trade back up into this range and maybe move sideways for a bit, maybe before we take another leg higher. Okay, so this is one that you need to pay attention to. There's not that much price history to go by, just purely going by the previous support we had last month, and the fact that we traded lower and then we broke over that level and we held it as support, and we have the 20 moving average starting to curling. Also, MACD is in the positive, um, territory, so we could get another leg higher from here. But today's close is gonna be key. All right, and let's keep it moving. Another one that you need to watch out for is SanDisk. SanDisk. This is one that I've been watching closely. All right, this one, after this big downtrend, I called it right here at 1445 area. We did break out, touch 1800. We pull back, and we're finding support here above the 500 level. What you're gonna watch for today is maybe a close on this candle green and a continuation going to next week. The 20 moving average is flattening out. Once we start getting the curl again going into next week, this should be a strong candidate for another push higher and maybe another higher highs going over maybe 1800, possibly even testing 2000 next week if the trend continues. We need to hold this higher low, and we need to break over this level to make a higher high, and that'll be the confirmation there. The higher low and the break over the previous high, which would make that a higher high. Once that trend continues, then I mean, you can see here, this was the trend down, and it's holding the trend back up. We need to continue the trend in that direction and continue to put in higher lows. The 20 moving average is confirming that the trend is changing and reversing back to the upside. It hasn't yet completed because today hasn't closed yet. The 160 is also trending higher. Those are all positive signs. MACD is heading back or crossing over back into the positive area. So, and this is also what you want to see. This pullback on the volume, less volume. You want to see volume step back in and the move continues. Okay. So those are the three stocks that I would be watching going into next week. Well, for the rest of today, going into next week. And if they do play out for you guys, let me know. This is not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'm looking at. If you like what I'm saying, leave me a comment. If you don't like what I'm saying, also leave me a comment. Let me know what y'all think. Okay? Catch y'all next time.